Last year, I drafted some of these receivers, and my team was cursed before week 1 even started. Now, I'm here to tell you today, the receivers you must not draft in fantasy drafts this year, or your team could be just as cursed as mine was. Now, first off, we have Justin Jefferson. Boom. So you got the jersey on, so you might think I'm a fan, but not today, because we're talking cursed wide receivers. Cursed. But my main problem with him is that he is on the Vikings. What do you mean? He was so good on the Vikings. Yeah, back when they had good quarterbacks. Last year they had J.J. McCarthy. Womp, womp, womp. He averaged only 163 passing yards a game, and as a result, Justin Jefferson was terrible. But the thing is, everyone's super high on Justin Jefferson now because they think Kyler Murray is going to come in and save this team. Now, I love Kyler Murray too. I don't have his jersey. That would have been a cool transition, but back to the point. Kyler Murray, he only averaged 192 passing yards per game, only about 30 more than J.J. McCarthy. He wouldn't even have made a difference, and he would have still been horrible, and you wouldn't have wanted him on your team. Jefferson is currently going around pick 10 on Sleeper and 11 on ESPN, and at that price point, I would much rather have one of those group of running backs like James Cook, Ashton Genty, or Devon Achane. So we're fading Jefferson due to his bad quarterback situation. But another player I'm fading due to their quarterback is drafted right near Jefferson, and his name is CeeDee Lamb. Now, I know everyone loves CeeDee Lamb because Dak Prescott's a lot better than J.J. McCarthy, but the problem with him is Dak Prescott, he had a super good year last year. Let's actually look at Dak Prescott's last 5 seasons, shall we? His last 5 years, he's finished 5, 7, 9, 14, and 21. Ranked among quarterbacks in fantasy. But if you look at those years, do you see a pattern? Now, this is a secret insider tip that these big fantasy YouTubers, they're not going to tell you because they don't look for these super secret tips like I do. Dak Prescott, he considerably is worse in even numbered years. 2021, 2023, 2025, Dak Prescott's best seasons. Now, even since then, his best seasons, they've added in George Pickens. And CeeDee Lamb, he's good, don't get me wrong, and he should have a good year. He's coming off his worst season ever. But this one, he should do a little bit better, but not enough to warrant a first-round pick. So I would definitely take one of those running backs I said in the previous part with Jefferson. James Cook, Devon Achane, Omarion Hampton, Ashton Genty. Name your guy. Probably want to take him over CeeDee Lamb, and you'll be glad you did at the end of the season. Now, the next group of guys I want to talk about are all drafted in a similar range. First is Emeka Egbuka. Sorry, Gronkowski. He does have reduced target competition now that Mike Evans is gone, but everyone sees that and they're like, oh, he's going to be good again. But they forgot there's still a lot of mouths in that offense to feed, like Chris Godwin, Tez Johnson, the MVP from last year, and then they took rookie Ted Hurst, Jalen McMillan back from injury from he played into the last season, showed some flashes, could be viable again. But back to Egbuka. He should be a lot better than he was in the second half of last season. Who knows what happened with that, but he's not worth such a high pick. He's currently going at pick 42 on ESPN and 45 on Sleeper. On ESPN, you can draft him. You could get much better players like T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, or Kyron Williams in some leagues. And same kind of situation with Sleeper now that the ESPN values adjusted, but I would just much rather have some of those other guys. Now next is one of my personal hatest players I hate the most, if you will, Lad McConkey. all of your second favorite fantasy YouTubers, the big ones, they're telling you, we love Lad McConkey, draft him right now. But your real favorite YouTuber, your new favorite, he's here to tell you, don't draft Lad McConkey. Since his breakout year, Chargers have added way more mouths to feed. Quinshawn, Rondé Gadsden both had much more targets than people were expecting this year. Keenan Allen may be gone, so there will be a lot of targets freed up, but not enough to justify the pick. And there's still the possibility Keenan Allen could return to the Chargers for one more season. Lad is currently being drafted close to his ceiling, which is why I wouldn't recommend him. He's currently going off the board at pick 42 on Sleeper and 44 on ESPN, and I would much rather have some of those guys we discussed when talking about Egbuka. Rounding out these three guys, I've got Jameson Williams, also known as JMO, if you will. Now, last season, he had 7 weeks where he scored over 17 points. So he could certainly win you your week, but he could also certainly lose it. He also had 7 weeks where he scored under 7 points, including a couple 0 goose eggs. His situation hasn't changed much this year, but the insane variability between weeks means you should not pick him, because at the point you're drafting him, he's not just a fill-in flex position, and he's going to be one of your starters. He goes off at pick 48 on ESPN and 52 on Sleeper, and I'd just rather have like a wide receiver like Mike Evans, there's been much more consistency, or you could even go to another position like a Drake May or a David Montgomery, and they're much more likely to benefit your team. Okay, now the real reason I made this video. My number one player who will curse your team is Xavier Worthy. Now, I've got some beef with Xavier Worthy, if you couldn't tell. But you may be saying, I'm drafting him in the whatever round super late in my draft. It doesn't even matter. That is not true. Xavier Worthy, if you draft him, he will cast a spell on your team to make you lose. He will string you along week after week with injury problems. You'll wonder if he'll play or not. But good news for you is he ultimately will, unless Travis Kelce runs into him. But when he does play, he'll get less than 10 points. But he's not bad enough to drop him. He'll just fill a spot on your team and just hurt your team the whole season because he cursed your team. With the insane injury risk, you're much better off at taking an upside running back. Anyways, that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching the whole way through. Follow my edit page on TikTok. I'm more established on there and trying to grow out like a long form content kind of thing. Let me know in the comments what you think about the receivers on my list, and let me know some of the players you are not drafting. Anyways, like, subscribe, all the good things, and hope you have a good one. Peace.